Hey, good Saturday morning, everyone. It's Chief Meteorologist Eric Wilhelm here. It's an update on what we can expect for the rest of the day today. Everything's going pretty much according to plan for our rainstorm. Rain is ongoing in all of the valley right now. Depends on where you live, but some places are getting some pretty moderate to heavy rain, especially in Trumbull County. For the rest of us, this is light to moderate as we speak here at about 9:15 a.m. Broader view here, you can see there's a big dry slot off to our west where the center of low pressure is. That low pressure zone now centered right over, I'll say Lima maybe. And this dry slot's going to continue punching in from the south and the west. That's going to shut down the steady rain later on this morning. But then that invites more problems as we get into the afternoon because as we start to get more unstable air in, there could be some thunderstorms trying to pop up here and there. We'll talk about that in just a second. But again, our steadiest rain of the whole weekend is occurring now. It's going to start to shut down as we go towards lunchtime. So the rain this afternoon will be much less consistent than this morning. So far, tally of rainfall totals. We're up to about 0.8 of an inch in Boardman, 1.27 in Poland, head up towards the west side of Youngstown and over towards Austintown, about 0.82. But amounts have been heavier off to the north. This gauge in Newton Falls closing in on 2 inches. Inch and a half up towards Warren, Howland, 1.11 inches. Up towards Champion, 1.19. Cortland, 1.15. So a lot of places in Trumbull County have already surpassed an inch pretty easily. Head over into Mercer County, and amounts also fairly impressive so far. Generally under an inch, but still most places a little more than a half an inch so far. Let's talk about the rest of the day today. I mentioned that the steady rain is going to shut down as that dry slot works in. So the timing on that, let's look at noon here. Simulated radar on our short range model shows the dry slot punching in from the west, the steady rain arcing from Lake Erie and northwest Ohio back into western and central PA, but in most of our viewing area by noon, the steadiest of the rain will be over. Then as we get into the afternoon, as this dry slot continues working in, the atmosphere is going to get kind of unstable, especially if there's a peak or two of sun trying to work in. And I do think some thunderstorms are going to start to pop up in this warm sector across the eastern 1/3 of Ohio. Here's at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Could be a few storms getting going here, and these could pack a punch. So that's something we're going to definitely have to watch out for, starting around mid-afternoon. Heading into the late afternoon, here's 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock. Far eastern Ohio and western PA, some thunderstorms here and there, and there's going to be a lot of wind shear later on today because we're in the proximity of all these weather features. So the winds will be turning as you go up through the atmosphere. The wind speeds will be changing as you go up through the atmosphere. So this is a situation in which any thunderstorm that gets strong enough, it's going to be one of those things that we're going to have to watch out for very isolated tornadoes this afternoon. Not saying we're going to see any, but the potential is not zero this afternoon of any tornadic activity. It is a little bit higher than that. Here's the Storm Prediction Center outlook for this afternoon. The yellow area is the slight risk, the green area, the marginal risk. Slight is a little more serious than marginal. Most importantly, we want to look at some of the parameters here. Here's the odds of a tornado within 25 miles of any location. We're in the 2% to 5% range here. So a 2 to 5% chance of a tornado within 25 miles of any spot in the green. Notice the odds are quite a bit higher. Look at DC, kind of in a bullseye here for the potential for tornadic activity later on today. I think if we do get some hefty storms this afternoon, the main threat is wind damage. Here's your yellow area indicating 15 to 30% chance of wind damage with any thunderstorm. Overall, I think the highest risk of severe weather will be south of Interstate 80 and perhaps even south of Route 224. Farther south and southeast you go away from Youngstown, the higher the risk is for severe weather later on today. The showers are going to continue right into the day tomorrow. So that's why we, of course, have a flood watch in effect for the entire viewing area until tomorrow morning. Even though the heaviest of the rain is this morning, sometimes there's a lag, especially along rivers. There's a lag between the heavy rain and when the flooding actually takes place. And if you look at the river crest forecasts here, here's the Mahoning River at Leavittsburg. It's expected to crest around 13 feet, pretty close to moderate flood stage. And this would be very late today and into tonight when that crest would be. So well after the heavy rain. Same idea, Mahoning River at Youngstown, expected to crest a little over 14 feet Moderate flood stage is 16 feet, and that crest should occur this evening before starting to recede a little bit later on tonight and heading into the rest of the weekend. All right, if you're not following Andrew DiPaolo, be sure to do that on Facebook and on Twitter. He's posting some great stuff this morning, including some videos. I will be checking in throughout the day. Candace Monticelli is in this evening. She'll bring you up to date on the severe weather threat and everything else on 21 News at 6 and 11. We got you covered today. Good morning to hunker down and read a good book. And if you live in a flood-prone area, just stay weather aware today, as there can be some rapidly changing conditions. All right, have a good Saturday.